The highly anticipated series Daredevil Born Again has premiered, and early reactions suggest that the 7-year wait for the MCU revival has been well worth it. But before we get into it, if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button, drop a like and comment on the video, and if you're able, please sign up for channel memberships for exclusive content, which really helps us out. Anyway, let's get back to Hell's Kitchen. So, serving as a continuation of the acclaimed Daredevil Netflix series, Charlie Cox reprises his role as Matt Murdock, the blind lawyer by day and masked vigilante by night, with Vincent D'Onofrio returning as the menacing Wilson Fisk. Born Again's story continues to explore the criminal underbelly of Hell's Kitchen in New York City, jumping right back into the series' darkly iconic grit with newly appointed directors Aaron Moorhead and Justin Benson. Now critics have taken to X, or Twitter, whatever, to share their thoughts on the first 2 episodes of Born Again, praising its intense action, brutal tone, and episodic storytelling that stays true to the original. While some have pointed out minor VFX flaws, many agree that the series marks a triumphant return for the devil of Hell's Kitchen. Born Again will premiere on Disney Plus on March 4th, but here are some of the first reactions. At Brandon Davis BD said, #Daredevil Born Again comes out swinging. It's a true continuation of the Netflix series. Cox and D'Onofrio haven't missed a beat. Some VFX moments are a weak spot. It kicks ass, moves quick, and takes no prisoners. Really solid first 2 episodes, really enjoyed and want to see more. At Sean O'Connell said, Holy Hell's Kitchen. #Daredevil Born Again opens with a lengthy, devastating sequence that screams, this is just as brutal as Netflix. From there, the 2 episodes lay out a layered story about cops, vigilantes and guilt. Read Devil's Reign as a refresh, off to a great start. At Chris Killian said, the first 2 episodes of #Daredevil Born Again breathe a new, stylish energy into Daredevil that feels less grounded than the Netflix run, but more akin to the moodiness of the comics, which I personally loved. Prepare for a gut punch and avoid spoilers. And finally, at Eamon Jacobs said, pleased to say, Daredevil Born Again is brutally gripping and hurls a symphony of violence at the audience while perfectly capturing at Daredevil's essence as if he never left our screens. It's not perfect with some awkward CGI, but it's a bloody delight. #Daredevil Born Again. The return of Daredevil has been a long time coming. Despite strong critical acclaim and high viewership, the original Netflix show was abruptly cancelled in 2018. Born Again gives the MCU a chance to continue the hero's story, and it's clear that the studio is embracing the street-level storytelling that made the original so beloved. Born Again has already been renewed for a 2nd season slated for a 2026 release. Critics seem to agree that Born Again successfully continues the legacy of the Netflix series, preserving its raw, grounded narrative and darker themes. The return of Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock and Vincent D'Onofrio's Wilson Fisk also brings back the central conflict that made the original series so compelling. Its focus on brutal, unrelenting action sequences shows that the visceral fight choreography remains intact, only now taking a staple of the Netflix series to unfettered depths of brutality. Born Again is shaping up to be exactly what longtime fans hoped for, a brutal, character-driven continuation that doesn't shy away from the darker elements that made the Netflix original a streaming success. Cox and D'Onofrio once again prove why they are the definitive Daredevil and Kingpin, as Born Again's fight choreography pushes the limits of MCU action. If Born Again can maintain the hype, it may become one of Marvel's strongest street-level stories that feels much more intimate than a galaxy-spanning conflict.